Multiple four-state businesses and their customers are being targeted by online Facebook scammers. And those businesses are speaking out. You'll hear from some of them coming up.
There are 3 vaccines approved for use against COVID-19, but some four-staters seem to be favoring one.
The 4 states most watched news starts now.
Multiple four-state businesses say scammers are impersonating them with fake Facebook pages trying to con their customers. This is KOAM News at 10. KOAM's Mike Mahoney spoke to business owners in Pittsburgh and Webb City to learn more.
Sweet Designs Cakery, which operates out of Pittsburgh, and Webb City's Ghetto Tacos are just 2 of multiple four-state businesses who have had bad actors impersonating them with fake Facebook pages.
We spent a lot of time cultivating our Facebook page and growing that for marketing purposes and to keep in touch with our customer base. We've been doing that over 10 years. People trust us.
And violating that trust is key to this scam. Both Sweet Designs Cakery and Ghetto Tacos say scammers have created fake Facebook pages after stealing photos from the legitimate business pages, and then friend requested local customers or reached out to them when the businesses were offering promotions or giveaways.
The last 3 posts that are giveaways, it's been hacked, and it's just frustrating because, you know, they've been reaching out our customers, sending requests and that, you know, you'll win some money or give us your credit card and all this, and we don't do that.
Both businesses have posted customer warnings on their Facebook pages. They've also reported these scam pages to Facebook and hope their loyal customers do the same. Although the cakery hasn't been impressed by the social media giant's response.
We've reported it to Facebook multiple ways, every single way we possibly can. So far, I haven't gotten very good response from Facebook.
Captain William Davis with the Joplin Police Department says scams of this nature are one of the most commonly reported crimes to law enforcement. But with the scammers often overseas, local law enforcement is limited. But that won't stop them from frequently warning four-staters to be on the lookout online.
Double check with the business. It might be good to go through another avenue to contact them instead of clicking on that link to take you to that business page. You know, look the phone number up.
In Crawford and Jasper counties, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
Joplin's Blackstone Gastropub is another local business that's warning customers about a fake Facebook page account impersonating them. Pittsburgh police and fire are responding to an oil tanker stuck in a ditch on North Walnut Street. At this time, authorities have blocked off Walnut Street from 18th to 20th. A second tanker has been brought in to transfer the oil as a safety precaution. Checking in with Doug Heddy now. Started out cold and ending up pretty cold today, Doug.
Yeah, very cold start this morning. 28 degrees, so a pretty good freeze across the region. 54 during the afternoon. Average high 65, so well below where we should be. And it's going to be another cold night for us tonight. We have frost and freeze advisories in effect once again. Now, we're not going to go into the 20s, but we are going to drop into low to mid 30s, which is cold enough to produce frost across the entire viewing area. Clear skies, nothing going on here, nothing across the entire central plains. Temperatures, most of us 40 to about 43 degrees, and we'll drop back into lower 30s by morning. 45 by 10, near 60 by noon, warming up 64 for a high for us tomorrow. Of course, we're going to look into the holiday weekend, Easter, and your month-long forecast here in just a bit.
With a number of vaccine options available, some four-staters are holding out to get their preferred shot. Local health officials say many people are asking for specific shots, most often the Johnson & Johnson single-dose vaccine. The Crawford County Health Department held a walk-in clinic where they vaccinated 55 people with the J&J vaccine. Most often, people say they want it because it's the most convenient.
It's simple, quick, and it's effective, and I'm trying to do my part to slow the spread.
We've seen that Johnson & Johnson is equally effective at preventing death and hospitalization, so we thought it was sufficient, and you only need 1 shot.
That is the first time.
Health officials say the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is in short supply, and they say the best vaccine to get is whatever one you can get the soonest. Another new study shows that 1 dose of the coronavirus vaccine of any sort is as good as 2 for people who were previously infected. Researchers reported today that people who've recovered from COVID-19 get as strong an immune response from just 1 dose of coronavirus vaccine as the general population gets after 2 doses. The research team monitored antibody levels of more than 1,000 healthcare workers in the Cedars-Sinai health system who have been vaccinated with the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. Their finding lends support to earlier research that indicates vaccination boosts the effect of the immune system to natural infection. It also could potentially stretch the vaccine supply if people who have been infected just need 1 dose, and therefore more people could be vaccinated more quickly. Pfizer says new trial data gives a glimpse into how long its vaccine protection lasts and how effective it is against one highly contagious virus variant. Mandy Gaither has the latest.
New numbers from Pfizer
is just, icing on the cake for good news.
The company says its ongoing phase 3 clinical trial of their coronavirus vaccine confirms its protection lasts at least 6 months after the second dose and appears to be fully effective against the concerning virus variant first identified in South Africa.
I would not be surprised at all if Moderna and other companies that did the same thing would get similar results.
And more good news, Pfizer also says its vaccine is well tolerated with an efficacy of 100% in those ages 12 to 15.
This is really important for getting back to school, but also for us reaching herd immunity as well.
The vaccine maker will submit the data to the FDA as soon as possible, hoping for an expanded emergency use authorization of the 2-dose vaccine.
I do think that there is a good chance that we'll be able to get the vaccines authorized in time for the start of school so that these older teens at least are able to get the vaccines by late summer, early fall.
A separate study of the Pfizer vaccine in children ages 6 months to 11 years launched last week. The company aims to enroll more than 4,600 children in the trial and expects results by the end of 2021.
Ready?
Quick. All done.
Moderna is also testing its COVID-19 vaccine in adolescents and children in 2 clinical trials of children ages 12 to 17 and those ages 6 months to 11 years. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The question of how long vaccine protection lasts can only be answered once enough time has passed. While 6 months of protection is a modest target, it reflects the data from the time the vaccine has been in use. The study is continuing, and future updates may reveal more about how long and how strong this protection is. The Economic Security Corporation is reopening its offices after shutting down due to the pandemic. There are some new rules in place. You shouldn't come in if you're sick. If you're not sick and you come in, you're required to wear a mask and sanitize your hands. The ESC's office hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Voters in Newton County, Missouri will head to the polls next Tuesday to vote on a new tax levy rate for the county's ambulance district. The current levy rate is not quite 19 cents per $100 of assessed valuation. If approved, the new rate would be 35 cents. Officials with the ambulance district say the levy raise would help pay for new equipment and provide more competitive wages for the district's workers.
Because of television and things, a lot of people think we're part of the fire department. We're a completely different entity. You know, there are more fire trucks and police cars in this county than there are ambulances. Again, we have 6 ambulances that cover the entire county.
Again, that election is next Tuesday. Still ahead, the 4th day of the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin brings George Floyd's girlfriend to the stand. And some good news from the IRS for Americans who lost their job last year and have already filed taxes. The prosecution in Derek Chauvin's murder trial showed more dramatic video aimed at convincing the jury that Chauvin's knee pressing on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes killed him. And Floyd's girlfriend of 3 years took the stand to talk about their days together. Michael George reports from Minneapolis.
George Floyd's girlfriend, Courtney Ross, broke into tears as she described how they met in 2017 and recalled their struggles with opioid addiction.
It's something that we dealt with every day. You know, it's not something that just kind of comes and goes.
Ross says she and Floyd first met at a Salvation Army shelter where he'd worked as a security guard. On day 4, the prosecution drew out everyday details of Floyd's life that jurors in the murder case against fired officer Derek Chauvin are likely to have never heard until now.
We like to go to the sculpture garden and just, walk around.
Ross also said Floyd loved to eat, work out, and play sports, often in pickup games with people in the neighborhood. Later, the prosecution showed never-before-seen video of the ambulance team arriving on the scene. Paramedic Derek Smith can be seen in this image checking Floyd's pulse.
In a living person, there should be a pulse there. I did not feel one. I suspected this patient to be dead.
At the moment that you're checking for this carotid pulse, are the officers still positioned on top of Mr. Floyd?
Yes.
Also testifying Thursday, Chauvin's own supervising sergeant, who's now retired. He said the officers should have stopped their restraint of Floyd.
When Mr. Floyd was no longer offering up any resistance to the officers, they could have ended their restraint.
The prosecution also showed these disturbing images inside the ambulance as emergency responders worked frantically trying to save Floyd's life. They say the cardiac monitor showed Floyd had flatlined. Michael George, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Tomorrow, the Minneapolis police chief is expected to take the stand. Americans who lost their jobs last year and have already filed their tax returns, they're going to have one less headache to deal with. The IRS will automatically recalculate their returns to account for the new stimulus tax break. That is on the first $10,200 of unemployment compensation received in 2020. It will then send any refund directly to taxpayers, probably starting in May and continuing into the summer. The provision is part of the $1.9 trillion stimulus package that President Biden signed last month, but that was after millions of people had already filed their 2020 returns. Doug Hetty is up next with his month-long forecast. And later, the Kansas City Royals open up the season in a high-scoring matchup with the Rangers. Highlights in sports.
Well, it turned out to be a cooler day for us today. A cold start. We did have a pretty good freeze across the region, but at least we had sunshine and we did go into the 50s during the afternoon hours. Still pretty much clear skies for us right now. We are looking at a live shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, allergies also have been super high. On a scale of 1 to 10, today's been a 10. Tomorrow's going to be a 10. Again, these are mainly the tree allergies, but they're causing issues for allergy sufferers, and that's going to continue until we get a nice widespread rain to kind of wash out the atmosphere. Look at the lows during the morning hours, upper 20s to near 30. We did go into the mid-50s, but we should be into the mid-60s for the beginning of April. Then we've dropped back. Now most of us are sitting lower 40s. We're probably going to cool off another 8 to 10 degrees a little bit later on tonight. So it is going to be another cold night. The winds, look at the winds. We had a northerly wind. See how they're cranking out of the southeast now, a little easterly, southeasterly, and eventually out of the south by morning. That's really going to help us warm up over the next few days. But we do have frost and freeze advisories once again for us tonight into tomorrow morning. But clear skies, nothing really going on outside. In fact, the entire Central Plains look really good. There's a weak wave out across the southwestern parts of the U.S. You can see a few clouds, showers out toward Las Vegas. That is going to be a weak little wave that will roll in over the week, and that will give us a few more clouds, but that's really just about it. But most of the storm systems out across the Gulf of Alaska. This is what will start to affect us as we head into next week. All right, mid-30s for us tonight, so kind of a cold start, but watch how quick we warm up. By 1 o'clock, we're already going to be into the lower 60s, and I think our high temps, most of us, mid to upper 60s, especially in our western counties, Yates Center, Iola, Coffeyville, Parsons, and then mid-60s, everybody else, especially on the Missouri side. Let's drop south, northeastern Oklahoma, 66, 67 for a high, and then on the Missouri and Arkansas side, mainly about 63 or 64 degrees. Here's your day planner. We'll drop back into the mid-30s, but we're going to warm up quickly, so by the middle of the afternoon, we'll be into the mid-60s, even warmer. By Saturday, I think upper 60s, and then pushing 70 by the time we head into Easter Sunday. Now, you can see some clouds and maybe a random little pop-up shower, but most of us are going to be dry and really have a fantastic Easter. We'll start at 46, 65 by noon. High temp Easter afternoon up to about 70 degrees. So it really looks pretty good. 67 tomorrow, or 67 Saturday, 70 on Sunday. Rain chances really increase, especially Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures, though, pressing 80 degrees, so it really warms up for us next week. All right, so in the pattern, we're in the 5th cycle. We're in a 46-day cycle, so we are equivalent right now. We are seeing that cold stretch that we had in the middle of February. Obviously, it's modified this time of the year, but we're in severe weather season. The second half of April is really going to be the active time. So recapping next week, chances for showers and thunderstorms that we need to watch on Wednesday and Thursday. And then by next weekend, we cool down and we look pretty good. Now, week number 2 is kind of chilly. It's going to be kind of a rainy, cool week. We're going to have plenty of chances for rain. I don't really see any severe weather. It's something we'll watch, but I don't think we'll get any severe weather in week 2. Week 3 kind of dries up and really warms up. We're going to have chances for thunderstorms that could pack a punch on that Tuesday, but then we warm up into the 80s as we head into the last stretch of April. And this is when it gets kind of crazy because we're going to have numerous chances of severe weather, at least 3 chances the last week of April. And this will continue into the first week of May. Then we'll get a break, and then it picks up again the second half of May. But most of our severe weather Dow looks to really start cranking up here in about 3 weeks.
Not surprising, not welcome, but not surprising.
Yeah, that time of the year.
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, the 6th-ranked Crowder College baseball team welcomes in State Fair as the Rough Riders look to keep their 16-game winning streak alive. We're going to have the highlights in sports.
The win streak continues for Crowder baseball. The Rough Riders picked up their 16th win in a row against Fort Scott earlier this week. Their last loss was nearly a month ago. This afternoon, Crowder hosts a doubleheader against State Fair. In Game 1, pitch comes in, skips up. That will give Dylan Thompson time to score. 1-0 State Fair. Then, Jack Stroth at the plate with 2 outs. He sends it through. Landry Wilkerson scores to cut State Fair's lead in half. It's 2-1. Crowder rallying in the 6th. Rod Chris with a hit. Trey Harris showing off his wheels. He makes it home to tie it up at 2. Chris will go on to score the game-winning run. Crowder takes Game 1, 3-2. Crowder keeps it going, sweeping the doubleheader with a Game 2 score of 9-4. Logan Chambers heats up. He tallies a home run in this one, totaling 3 hits, 3 runs, and 2 RBI. High school baseball features an interstate matchup today between Frontenac and Carl Junction. The Bulldogs are 5-2, aiming to rebound after a loss. Frontenac has yet to play, kicking off their season on the road. Carson Johnson takes the pitch to the leg. That brings home Keaton Johnston. CJ leads by 1 after 4. To the 5th, Noah Southern with a shot to the shortstop. The throw to first is high. Southern makes it safe. Then Alex Baker with a hard hit. Third baseman can't handle it. That sets up runners on first and second. Brendan Downs. Grounder will get him the RBI. Next batter. Wild pitch here. Alex Baker on the run. Beats the ball home. CJ up 3. Bulldogs go on to win it 6-1. The 6-1 Joplin Eagles head down to Neosho. The Wildcats are coming off their first win of the season. We'll pick this one up in the 4th. Joplin's pitcher Ethan Gulford drives it up the line. Scoring is Cole Cooper. Then Alex Curry looks like he hits into a double play, but there's an error. He'll reach first and Bodie Carlson scores. Eagles up 2-1. Bottom of the 7th, last effort for Neosho. Jose Ortega gets a hit through the gap. Wyatt Kepler scores. Wildcats tie it to force an 8th inning. Eagles, though, come alive, winning 7-2. Major League Baseball is back. It's opening day, and the St. Louis Cardinals are in Cincinnati to kick things off. Jack Flaherty starting on the mound for the Cardinals. Nolan Arenado gets a base hit up the middle. Paul Goldschmidt scores. Cards lead 7-1 in the 2nd. Later, Tyler O'Neill sends this one soaring, 2-run home run. St. Louis finishes it off, winning 11-6. The Royals also opening up their season today at home against the Texas Rangers. In the fourth, Jorge Soler crushes this ball, solo home run to tie up the game at 8. Then Michael Taylor knocks it up the middle. Hunter Dozier from third scores to give the Royals their first lead. Royals kick off the season with a win at home. Final is 14-10. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Thomas Slater. The Chanute, Kansas native served in the U.S. Navy, and we are proud to salute Thomas Slater. He's tonight's four-state hero. Checking back in with Doug. It's chilly out there, Doug.
It is. We're going to drop back to about 33, 34 degrees later on tonight. So we are going to have another frosty night. 64 tomorrow, mostly sunny, 67 Saturday, all the way up to 70 by Easter Sunday.
Thanks, Doug, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Isn't it great to have baseball back? Let's take care of ourselves and each other.